This is a very thrilling story about a boy who can see accidents of the future before they happen. He manages to save himself and his friends from those accidents. But will changing the events of the future really be possible? Will fate allow them to slip away so easily? Subscribe to the channel, and to know the answers, listen carefully to this fascinating and astonishing story. At the beginning of the movie, we see a boy named Sam, who is trying to convince his girlfriend Molly because she had broken up with him a little while ago. They are about to leave on a company trip with their friends in a bus. Since morning, Sam had been feeling strange. When he boards the bus, he notices a warning message that says, "Watch your step," as if fate itself was telling him to walk carefully. A little later, the bus reaches an old bridge where construction work was going on. As soon as they arrive there, Sam's anxiety increases even more. Suddenly, the bus stops abruptly, and a sharp object sticking out of the seat cuts Sam's thumb. The bus radio also suddenly turns off, and outside, a fierce storm begins. Suddenly, Sam's bus jolts violently, and the bridge starts to collapse. All the vehicles start falling off the bridge, and seeing this, everyone becomes extremely terrified. Immediately, Sam grabs his ex-girlfriend Molly, rushes out of the bus, and begins to run away from there. Candace, who is Peter's girlfriend, tries very hard to save herself, but her time does not support her. She falls straight from the bridge onto a boat below, where she meets her fate instantly. Seeing this, Peter is struck with shock, but he too does not have much time, because the entire bridge is collapsing. At that moment, Sam holds Peter's hand and starts running away with him. Meanwhile, we see that one of their friends, Isaac, was still inside the bus as soon as he comes out of the washroom, before he can even understand what is happening. The bus falls off the bridge, and he also meets his fate. While Sam is running with Molly, that part of the bridge also collapses. Many lives were being lost, and there was no way ahead. Somehow, with the help of the side railing, Sam safely sends Molly to the other side. But just as he is about to go himself, he sees Olivia crying out for help because her glasses had fallen and she could not see anything. Sam helps her onto the railing and tells her to follow Molly's voice. Olivia tries, but without her glasses, she is unable to see anything. Suddenly, the side railing shakes violently, and she falls into the water. She was still alive, but to complete her fate, a car falls directly on top of her, which kills her instantly. Then we see that Dennis and Nathan are also running towards the same side. Suddenly, an iron side ring strikes Nathan, and he too reaches the end of his journey. At that very moment, the bridge collapses, and the team's manager, Dennis, hangs on. He does not lose hope. But then, hot tar falls on him, and he finally gives up. Now, on this part of the bridge, only Sam and Peter were alive. Both of them, one by one, jump onto a railing on the other side of the bridge. First, Peter jumps, and just 1 second before the bridge collapses completely, Sam also jumps and grabs the railing. But they were still not out of danger. Nearby, a truck filled with construction materials was parked, and some steel rods pierce straight through Peter. Sam bravely climbs up, but that truck also had something waiting for him. A steel sheet swings down, and Sam is torn away. Suddenly, he regains consciousness, extremely shocked, and almost in a state of trauma. He had just witnessed a glimpse of the future, where he saw that everyone was going to meet their fate. At that very moment, the bus brakes suddenly, his thumb gets cut, and the radio begins to malfunction, just like before. He realizes that all these things are happening again, and he understands that if this is happening, then surely the bridge will collapse too. Thinking this, Sam panics and screams that all of them must get off the bus immediately, because the bridge is going to collapse, and all of their lives are in danger. But surely, no one takes him seriously. But he forcefully takes Molly and tells everyone else that they too should get off the bus quickly. Saying this, the two of them get off the bus. Now their manager tells Peter to convince them and bring them back onto the bus quickly. So Peter and Candace follow behind to call them back. Some more people, like Olivia, Nathan, Isaac, and Dennis, also get off the bus. As soon as people get off the bus, the bridge starts to collapse. Now, those who had escaped earlier because of Sam immediately start running away. They stand at a distance, watching the bridge collapse. Many questions are running through their minds. They were also afraid of Sam, because he had predicted all of this beforehand. Peter even asked Sam how he knew all of this before it happened. But the truth was that Sam himself did not know how he had seen a glimpse of the future. But his actions changed the timeline. And in this timeline, all these people were alive. Now the investigation of this incident begins. Agent Jim calls Sam for interrogation and asks how he knew that this event was going to happen. Because everyone had said that Sam knew about it, and that because of him, their lives were saved. Jim suspected that Sam was a terrorist, but due to the lack of evidence, he could not do anything. Just then, the report of the collapsed bridge arrives, which states that the cause of the collapse was high wind and structural damage. In other words, the bridge had become very weak, and it broke because of shaking from strong winds. Sam was proven innocent, and he was released. Now, all those who had survived attend the funerals of the ones who had lost their lives in that accident. There, once again, everyone asks Sam how he knew about the accident, but Sam remains silent to all their questions. When Sam and Peter are about to leave, they see a strange man there, whose name is William. He explains that fate does not tolerate cheating. He says, "You think you have changed the future, but it is not so. You still need to remain cautious." Saying this, he leaves, and Sam does not pay much attention to him. Sam also works part-time at a restaurant. After finishing his work, he goes to meet his girlfriend Molly. Molly is upset with Sam because she wants him to go to Paris for his new job. Meanwhile, Peter goes to meet his girlfriend. Candace does not feel like practicing, but Peter encourages her, saying that she can do it and that they need to move past the accident. Candace was the best gymnast there and had been practicing for the past 15 years. But today, something was different, something she could not even feel. Just then, a bolt from an AC falls down and pierces into a girl's foot. The girl falls, and white powder spreads in the air, due to which Candace cannot see anything. And as her grip slips, she falls to the ground, and because of a severe spinal injury, she loses her life instantly. Hearing about the accident, Sam rushes to the hospital, and Peter is deeply shocked by what he sees. A few days later, everyone was in the office, yet the sorrow of Candace's loss prevents anyone from focusing on work. Peter was very sad, because it was he who had told Candace to practice. Work was not happening at all, so Nathan brings beer there. Everyone was with Peter, except Isaac, who was stealing the belongings of those who had lost their lives in the accident. Later, he finds a massage parlor ticket and immediately leaves for the parlor. Meanwhile, Olivia also had to meet a doctor, so she leaves too. Isaac arrives at the parlor. There, he has an acupuncture session, and needles are inserted into his body, after which he is told to rest for 30 minutes. But then, we see that a fire breaks out in a furnace there. Seeing this, Isaac screams and shouts loudly, but as per his fate, no one hears his voice. He tries to extinguish the fire himself, and falls to the ground with the needles pressing against him. The fire spreads rapidly, and while trying to save himself, he bumps into a wall, where a statue falls straight onto his head. Here, Sam and Molly were sitting together when Peter arrives and shares the startling news that Isaac has reached the end of his journey. They all rush to the parlor, where once again, they saw William standing before them. Sam felt like William was following them, so he directly confronted him. William calmly explained, "My work requires me to be present wherever fate unfolds its end." Sam asked him desperately, "But what exactly is happening to us?" William revealed, "I've seen cases like this before. A man foresees the future and saves his friends, but eventually, every survivor still meets their fate, one by one." He further explained, "If you take someone else's life in your place, their lifespan becomes yours, and you can survive in this timeline. But saving yourself by ending another life, that is truly wrong." At that moment, Sam replied, "In my vision, I had already saved Molly. That means her life is not in danger." Peter grew furious, for his girlfriend had already lost her life. In anger, he stormed out. Sam and Molly then decided to warn Olivia about this truth. Meanwhile, unaware of everything, Olivia went for a laser eye treatment. The doctor was about to begin when he realized the patient file was incomplete. He left Olivia there to fetch the correct one. Suddenly, A short circuit triggered the laser machine, burning one of her eyes. As the beam shifted towards her other eye, she blocked it with her hand, barely saving herself. Just then, Sam and Molly arrived at the clinic. But before they could reach her, Olivia slipped, crashing down onto a car, instantly losing her life. Agent Jim soon arrived and started questioning Sam. Sam recounts everything about fate's design, yet Jim refuses to believe him. Now, after Olivia, it was Nathan's turn. At a factory, Nathan got into a heated argument with a co-worker named Roy. A heavy iron hook was about to fall on Nathan. Suddenly, remembering William's words, Nathan pushed Roy under it instead. It appeared to be nothing more than an accident. Peter informs his friend Dennis about Roy's end and explains the theory, but Dennis still didn't believe and reported everything to Agent Jim. Soon, everyone confronted Nathan at the very site where fate had struck. Peter questioned him. "Did you do this on purpose?" Nathan admitted, "Yes, I ended Roy's life, and if this theory is right, then I'm safe now." Just then, Dennis arrived, but at that very moment, a wrench flew off a fan and struck him, bringing his journey to an end instantly. Sam realized, "I saw Dennis meet his end after Nathan. That means the theory is true." That night, Sam took Molly out for dinner, unaware that Agent Jim was secretly watching them. While Sam and Molly enjoyed their dinner, Peter suddenly appeared. According to Sam's vision, it was Peter's turn next. Like Nathan, Peter too wanted to save his own life. His mind kept tormenting him. If Candace met her end, then why is Molly still alive? In his madness, Peter decided Molly must face her fate. He pulled out a gun and aimed to shoot Molly. But at the last moment, Sam managed to protect her. Hearing the sound of the gun, Agent Jim also gets ready. Sam and Molly hide inside the kitchen, but Peter finds Sam, knocks him unconscious, and starts searching for Molly. And Agent Jim reaches near him. It seems like Jim will overpower Peter, but that does not happen. Peter shoots Jim from behind. Now Peter was not going to meet his fate because he had taken Jim's lifespan. But still, he wanted to end Molly's journey because he was still serious about that Candace logic. But before he could harm Molly, Sam comes from behind and puts an end to Peter's threat. Now Jim's life, which was with Peter, was now with Sam. Here, both of them become happy because now they will peacefully go to Paris and live their life. In the next scene, 2 weeks pass by. They sit inside the flight to go to Paris. The plane takes off, and Sam starts listening to music peacefully. Suddenly, there is some malfunction in the plane. At that moment, Sam's thumb gets cut by the seat, and then they see a boy shouting that he has seen the plane is about to crash. Hearing this, Sam realizes their end is near, but this time, they could not do anything to survive. While he is still thinking this, the plane blasts, and Sam's journey also ends in the fire. Now you must be wondering, when Nathan survived, then why did Sam not survive? The answer is that Sam got Jim's lifespan, but Jim's time was only this much. His journey was meant to close after 2 weeks. Now Nathan is shown, who had come to Roy's funeral. There, a man tells him that Roy had a very dangerous disease, due to which his days were already limited. Nathan understands that if this is true, then his own end is also close. Suddenly, the roof collapses, and Nathan too meets his fate. And with the master plan of destiny, the movie ends right here.